Hey YouTube. So this is a book I just finished reading. Actually, just an hour ago. I finished reading this book and then I finished up my notes on it. Got had something to eat and here we are. So, and I should say start this off that this book is not in or this video in general is it's not in chronological order with how I've been reading because this is a book I just finished, but I have four of the books that I'm may or may not make videos on. But one of them for sure because I really enjoyed that book. But like as I've been saying, I'm in my opinion I feel like it's kind of a little arrogance in a sense. It's a little arrogant in me, but I'm a good reader now in my opinion. I can get through these books very quickly now almost. Like it's not hard for me to read 3 books a day. It's this is like kind of normal stuff now. And I already skipped about four. I already skipped 4 books in the past from that I had finished a few days ago. So, I'm reading all these great books and I'm getting all these ideas, but making the videos it's not hard because like I have time, but you know, I don't know. But getting the best out of college. Now this video it's not necessarily well, it could be useful to you for tips and things, but I'm kind of making this video just so I can remember for the future because I know that with me kind of making these videos, it strengthens the neural pathways of the information in my brain. So it just ingrains the information more, which it helps me out and it may help you out if you just want a brief summary of these books and some key points that I like, cause that's really what I found I talk about. I just basically talk about the things that I like about with the book instead of completely critiquing it. So, getting the best out of college. The first part is probably and this isn't, how to sign up for college and things. This is once you get into college. The first thing that they talked about was managing your dorm, your dorm room, and the way you'll be living with your roommate. Now, some of the tips they gave was take the questionnaire that you receive from the college, take it and answer it thoroughly because that can make or break make or break your freshman year. If you're gonna live on campus. If you're not gonna live on campus, then obviously don't you don't have to do it. But if you're gonna live on campus, take it seriously because you would want someone with the same attributes as you. Like for me, I wake up early, so someone I would want someone who also wakes up early. So our times, like our studying habits and just the way we do things, is kind of just better. Cause I wouldn't want to trying to go to sleep at 8:30 and then it's 8:30 and he or she. I'm not sure if colleges allow multi genders or different genders, but I don't think they do honestly. Now that I think about it, but I don't think that I would want him to be eating dinner right when I'm about to go to sleep, and after he eats dinner, he might do a little studying or play video games or something like that. So obviously choose or answer the questions thoroughly, as I was saying. And also, when packing for college, you really don't need a lot. Like for me, I don't need a lot. Pretty much because since I read on the on since I read ebooks, like I pretty much just need my device and a pencil for when I'm speed reading because I speed read with a pencil, or I could just use my finger if I don't have a pencil. So it's not really, it's not really much I need. And plus, clothes wise, I pretty much just I can't say I wear the same things every day because I don't. I switch my shirt every day because with working out, you sweat a lot. I sweat a lot, so just pack lightly. Basically, there's not really a need to bring a lot of things to college and university. So the next part of the book is just creating yourself, pretty much, and creating your future in in college. Now, this correlates with your classes. So, well, and the advice that they gave was to pick your classes instead of strictly on your interest, to pick them more on how good the professor is, which I feel like I can, with me just kind of learning about this stuff, I can kind of agree with it in a sense because I know that, like for instance, with math class, whenever I had a good math teacher, I learned a lot. But when I didn't, I did not like math that year. And I can't say it's the teacher's fault because, I pretty much didn't do nothing. Well, obviously I did something, but I didn't do the best job that I could have done. But, it kind of has to do with energy. If the teacher's energy is like nice, positive, and they actually like math, then I'm more likely to like math. And that's really something I found out that which I guess I can, I could say I believe it. But I don't want to choose a class just because the professor is a good professor. I also want to have some interest in the topic. And obviously, if the class if it's super easy or if it's like super hard, where I'm pretty much, well, I don't know anything. Because again, I don't think any class is like super really, really that hard unless it's like, oh, for instance, AP, not AP, sorry, intermediate accounting. I think that's a tough class that my father told me about. So maybe a class like that is is a hard class where pretty much no one gets an A in it. Pretty much that's what a hard class defines it to me. The definition of it. Well, the hard classes will vary now that I think about it, but the professor, I don't think it's cool to base class on professor, but also it depends on your interest in the topic too. So the next thing that uh it's pretty important, I would say, is extracurriculars. Now, when I was doing a online webinar, it was an online Zoom meeting. I don't know if it was exactly called a webinar, the exact type of representation that it was, presentation, sorry, but extracurriculars. And with extracurriculars, the people that I've seen, I've seen when I was doing or on watching the presentation, when I was in the presentation, the people there, they all had like three extracurriculars. Not everyone played sports, but they were all like student ambassadors. They all, had good grades, were pretty much set. These were like kind of overachievers in a sense with a lot of extracurriculars and also, with good grades and being student ambassadors. So, but, I don't think that I want to be that. I'm thinking, like, I agree with this book right here. They talk about just pick one and stick with it. Just pick extracurricular and stick with it. And I don't know what type of extracurriculars there are. I know that there's some about everything. They mentioned something like medieval medieval war fighting, something. I think that's cool because I got into history through medieval times and through the 1000s. I You probably don't understand that, but I really understand that. I just got into history through the Anglo-Saxons and early Germanic times. So with extracurriculars, if or when I go, I should say, I'll look for some maybe about reading. Who knows? Because I really enjoy reading. It's so fascinating to me that I could just open a book and then a few hours later, I can be smarter. Like that's really what's been happening pretty much every day. Like I really learn something new every day. And with this, look, I'm learning to get the best out of college. So this is reading is really it's really nice, and I really like it. But I'm also gonna do more stuff because reading's my strong suit, obviously now. So if I don't want to say balance it out because I like having a strong part, but if I want to get a little more balanced in a sense, I'm gonna have to work on my math skills, which like talking about math in the past, I loved math when I was in ninth grade because my teacher there was phenomenal. Some people didn't like him, but I thought he was one of the best teachers I've had, honestly. Like the guy was funny. He was just great when I think about him. He was a great person, a great personality. He was he really had good character and the way he identified himself. I really appreciate him for that. So I like math because of him, honestly, and I have no problem getting back into math. And I got some websites that I can use, and maybe I could pick up a book on math. I have one on statistics, which that's kind of the cool thing I like. I like data. I think that's my kind of thing. So next, they're gonna talk about the social scene, and or we are gonna talk about the social scene, about college life and just being social. So, firstly, you don't have to be super close with your roommate. Like it's cool to be friends. Obviously, you're gonna become acquaintances, but you don't have to be like they don't have to be your best friend forever type of thing. Like it's cool just to have them, ask them some questions. You guys can ask each other some questions, but it doesn't have to be anything farther than like that. And pretty much just being cool with each other. But also, don't in high school, not in high school, sorry, in college, some kids or most kids I should say, I'm not really too sure, but kids do drugs and drink and go to parties. And I'm really not into that kind of thing, but kids are and I don't think it's a good thing to get into just because it kind of breaks down some core habits of yourself and also some good qualities of yourself if you indulge too much into it. Obviously, going to one party, it may hurt you actually. Who knows, man? Unplanned pregnancy. With unplanned pregnancy, who knows? One going to one party might just hurt your rest of your life. So, I wouldn't recommend it actually. I would not recommend it. But or next, I should say, is the professors. And now again, going back to the professors. Get to know your professor, your favorite ones at least, the ones that you enjoy, and get to know them in a just a humane way. You don't have to, do all over the top stuff. Just ask to talk to them about an interest that they seem to like and things of that nature. Which I've actually put this kind of into play already. I asked actually multiple of my teachers on their advice for things I could tell they enjoy. So these books are good for again setting good habits, and it's good to learn this while I'm still relatively young and a few years out from college. So this book was a pretty good book, and the meaning behind it. Well, since this was a practical book, the meaning behind it is just tips. It's it's just tips. There wasn't really any theories in this book. It pretty much just provided evidence, evidence through students' essays and things like that. So getting the best out of college.